Hi, Dave Smith here, DJS Photography. Welcome to part 3 of this black and white conversion workflow. I hope you have enjoyed it so far. We're coming towards the end of the treatment now, and as I look at this image in front of me, I have to say I'm pretty pleased with it. So any tweaking we do from here really is going to be minor. And as I say, as I look at this, the only areas that I might look at, I'm very happy with the hill that's in the front left corner there, very happy with those middle hills just in front of us. I might just have a look and see if there's anything more we can do with those scalloped mountains in the back. I definitely want to just try tweaking the sky a little bit more, and we might just have a look at whether or not there's anything more we can pull out of these rampaging clouds over the hillside there. Okay, but I don't think we're going to be very long here. It's just to have a quick look and just show you the kinds of things that I might go about doing to finish off an image. So we're just going to get ourselves a stamped version of this, I hope. There we go. And this will be the layer that we work on next. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I am going to leave these two front areas as they are. I do really like how they look. So I'm going to make a selection on these mountains at the back here. So I'm going to go select load selection. I'm going to go here. Incidentally, just to let you know, I saved this lot because I wanted to restart the MacBook Pro. It had been running for many days. I hardly ever turn it off, to be honest. So I saved this, and Photoshop returned a warning notice to say that the file was over 2 gigabytes and might not be read by some TIFF readers. That didn't bother me because I was only going to open it back up in Photoshop. But it just does go to show you how these channels over here mount up, how all the layers inside here mount up. This whole file saved at over 2 gigabytes as a TIFF. Now I'll get rid of all these when I'm finished, but it just goes to show you. Okay, so we're going to make load up this selection here. Alright, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to come down here. Let me I'm not sure if I've loaded up. Let me just just bear with me for a moment. I'm just going to load up my zoom tool. Here it is. Gotcha. Nope, don't need that. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so down here at the bottom of the layers panel, got a whole bunch of things we can do. We can open new layers or folders, we can mask and put effects. This is the one we're going to use. This is the adjustment layer tab, and we're going to add an adjustment layer. Just going to have to go back and reselect now, I think. Okay, I'm going to deselect, then I'm going to go back here and reselect. Just there we go, just so I can see the marching ants there. So I'm going to put on an adjustment layer, and that will open a mask. Okay, and the layer I'm going to have is brightness and contrast, because I just want to see if there's anything more we can do in there. And if I just pull this palette up, let's be careful what we're doing with that. Let's put it over here. Okay, so it wants to dock everywhere. You can see it's put a layer mask on. Alright, now you remember that we didn't want to do things in that order in the previous stages. Now we do. So I want to just make this adjustment, hit that mountain area there. Okay, so I'm just going to see what happens if I bring that brightness up. Maybe not. It's not looking too bad actually. Okay, so let's bring that brightness up and let's bring the contrast way up. Okay, that's not looking offensive, is it? Let's see how that looks. So a little brighter. What do you think, eh? I quite like it. Okay, let's see how that looks with a bit more in the contrast. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to wind the contrast down a little, and I'm going to bring the brightness back a little. Do quite like what it's doing. Let's try that. Yes, I think I like that. Okay, so that's nice. We'll stick with that. Oh, very good. Okay. And then I think what we want to do, I am liking the look of that. So what we'll do next is we will shift click here, stamp again, and we'll work on the sky. So same deal. I'm going to select load selection. I'm going to have sky. There it goes. Bingo. And I'm going to do the same again. Can have another adjustment layer, brightness contrast, which is an adjustment I quite like, I have to be honest. I'm going to wind that brightness, I could do quite a lot, yes, I'm going to wind that brightness down somewhat, and I'm going to bring the contrast up a little. Okay, and let's see how that looks. That is looking pretty good, I think. Kind of like both versions, but I'm going to go with that one, I think. Okay, good. And let's go back to here and just see what we've done so far. So there's where we ended up with on our initial conversions, and there's the difference we've made. It just brings a it's tiny changes that we make here. Makes a huge difference to the pop in the image, I think, and particularly in these mountains in here. Let me just toggle that again one more time for you, and just focus on those scalloped mountains. The differences between those two are really minuscule, but for me they make just all the difference. Okay, so we're going to go with that. Now the last thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp all 4 of those layers. The last thing that I'm going to do is, for this stage, we've got one more stage to go after this, but the last thing that we're going to do here is just to have a look at these clouds. I don't know that we're going to do anything more with them, but I just want to check before we leave these, because actually they look pretty good as they are. Okay, so let's have our brightness contrast adjustment layer again, and let's see what we want to do. Let's see. Yeah, okay. We'll bring that down just a touch. Bring that up a touch. Let's see what that did, if indeed anything. So that's where it was, that's where it is. That's where it was, that's where it is. Yeah, okay. So I like it as it was, so I'm going to take all of that and move that to the bin. And I suspected that might be the case. And we can get rid of this layer as well. That was the stamp layer, remember? So that we could work on that. There we go. Okay. So that's it. That was kind of pretty swift. It just shows you how I go on from the initial conversion, where I've converted for each of the 5 main elements of the image, and then just go back in with adjustment layers. And I usually just use brightness and contrast, but sometimes I would use levels and sometimes I would use curves. It just depends what I feel the image really calls for. But we got such a good set of conversions out of all of this that that I feel pretty good about it, actually. And we made just the tiniest of tweaks in those brightness contrast layers, but this is looking exactly as the sort of image I was hoping to achieve. There are just now some tiny finishing touches left. I'm going to leave those to part 4, and what I'm going to do right now just to finish off is actually I'll tell you what I think we'll do. I think we will Command J that layer. So I've now got a background copy. Let's isolate. That's not what I wanted to do. Let's isolate the background copy. There we go. And I think if we do Shift Command U, we'll just desaturate that layer. So that's what we get if we literally just desaturate the layer. And then I'm going to bring out, so there's our actual conversion. So desaturation, actual conversion. And let me tell you, I know which I prefer. I hope you agree with me. It's this one, right? Okay, so there's just the straightforward desaturation, and there's the work we've done on 5 separate elements with different conversions through silver effects, and then some very tiny minor tweaking with adjustment layers. We're ready to go. I'm going to delete that rather offensive layer, and now I'm going to collect all of those, and I'm going to merge them. And when that's done, one day, there we go. I'm also just going to bin these selections because, my word, they cause the overhead on the saving to really mount up. Okay, so there is our conversion so far. One last stage to go, and I hope you join me for that. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.